This is the sort for October 20th, 2015. I began this sort by already organizing the words underneath each of the black header cards, AR, schwa plus R, and OR. Let's begin with this black header card, AR. All of these words in this sort are going to have the R sound, kind of like a pirate R. And they're also going to all have the same spelling pattern, AR. So let's take a look at yarn. Yarn, march, jar. You can hear the R sound, and you also see that yarn has an AR spelling pattern, march has an AR spelling pattern, and jar has the AR spelling pattern. Now let's take a look at this card, schwa plus R. What I'm going to do to make this sort or this group a little bit easier for you is to create an additional card, and that is going to be ER, because we want to focus on sounds this week. So schwa plus R is probably going to be a little confusing. Really all schwa means is a schwa sound is an unaccented sound. So there's not a lot of stress on the vowel. For example, when we say the word earn, we don't say earn, it's just earn, or search, pearl, worth. There's not a lot of stress or emphasis on the vowel sounds in these schwa words. However, I think as a third grader, that's a little confusing, so why don't we make things easier and just go ahead and add a card by, I'm going to do it again, pressing on the plus sign in the top left-hand corner of your screen right next to undo. And all you need to do is write in there ER. And if you want to color code it, let's make it so you double click on the word on the card, double click on ER, and let's just make it green, or I'm sorry, let's make it, green. Okay, so now we know these words in this middle column or this middle group are going to have the sound, which makes things a little bit easier, but there's a lot of different spelling patterns for the sound, as you can see. So we hear, when we say the word earn, we hear but it's spelled with an EA. When we say the word worst, we hear we're erst, but it's spelled OR. Let's look at search. Search. Again, we have the EA pattern. Same as with pearl, EA pattern, pearl. And now we have some different patterns. Let's go back to the OR pattern. Worth. So worst and worth all have that ER sound. And earn, search, and pearl all have that sound as well, but that sound is spelled with an EA. Now let's look at the last three words. Lurk, you hear the ER sound again, but it's spelled with a UR, as well as spur, S-P-U-R, And finally, we have sir, with an IR. So we have, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different spelling patterns for that sound. So be careful with this group this week. If you'd like, you could almost split those like I have into kind of 5 different mini groups or subgroups. Now let's take a look at the last header card, which is OR. So you're going to focus on that sound OR. So horse is pretty easy. You hear the OR sound in horse, and it's spelled OR. Same as with bore. Same spelling, OR. Pretty easy, has that same OR sound. However, now we have bore has the OR sound, but it's spelled with an OA. Same as horse, horse, but we have an OA pattern. And worn can go almost over here. This is another column in which you can kind of group these words together. So horse, bore, worn all have an OR spelling pattern and have that sound OR. boar and horse both have an OR sound but have an OA spelling pattern. And then worn, our final word, another spelling pattern, AR. So this is a sort I would suggest doing over and over and over again, and also being sure to do a blind sort repeatedly, because you're just going to have to memorize the fact that there's many different spelling patterns for these sounds. Go ahead and start sorting.